So, you join me today at the Approach Fisheries, which is near Leeds. I'm here as part of the ExMil carp group. So it's like a social event for anyone who's in this group who's ex-military. And yeah, it's my first one that I've attended, and so far it's been really good. It's Friday evening now, so we were allowed to arrive Thursday lunchtime, and although we didn't have the lake till today, we were able to bivvy up near the cafe area and basically just have a social. So it was really good. You know, met some decent people, had a laugh, and yeah, it was really good. Had a few drinks too many, so I was very rough this morning. But yeah, we were allowed on the lake from 12 o'clock today. So this one's a trout lake, which is a day ticket water, and then behind this lake you've got Willow Lake, which is sort of invite on request sort of thing. You've got to prove yourself on this lake to be able to fish Willow Lake. So I think you start off on here. Once the owners and the bailiffs get to know you and they know you can look after the fish and you know what you're doing, then you're allowed to fish Willow Lake, which has got the bigger carp in. But even still, this trout lake has still got some very big carp in. I think they're up to 50 pound in here. There was a 42 pound come out yesterday. So yeah, so there are some big carp in here. So it was just a draw for pegs, and I got peg 1, which is in the corner. It's the nearest peg to the cafe, which I was quite happy about, because when I was walking the lake yesterday, there were some signs of fish at this part of the lake, so really happy with that. So I'm sort of in the corner, and there was 2 guys on this peg sharing this peg before I took over today, and they'd done a 48 hours and they'd both blanked, but they were both fishing sort of at distance, more or less straight out. One was fishing a bit closer in, but they were both fishing in open water. So I've decided to do something a bit different to what other people are doing on the lake currently, and that's fishing in this left-hand margin. So I've got all 3 rods sort of to my left, 2 more or less together, and then my far left is further forward. It's not far out at all, to be honest. So I've put quite a bit of bait in, put about 2 kilo, which is a lot for me. I'm quite tight with bait, so yeah, there's a lot of bait gone in, but there is a lot of bream in here, so you know, it will be getting net. Currently there's about 20 of us on the lake, and I don't think the fishers came out yet, and it is it's early evening, so it's about 6 o'clock now. So I'm quite optimistic. I do think that I might get a run before I've got to be off on Sunday morning. So yeah, hopefully it'll be one of the big girls. If not, I'll just be glad to see a carp on the bank. Maybe not a bream, but a carp, definitely.
just for you. So come along and take my hand.
So I'll just explain to you what I've just done baiting up wise. So this swim I'm in, it's got a left hand margin which is quite shallow considering the depth of the rest of this lake. A lot of this lake is 18-19 feet and it goes deeper, but yeah, this margin's between 4 and 6 foot. There is like a 6 foot shelf along this side, so my thought process is to fish a bit different to everyone else, because a lot of people are casting far out into the middle, fishing in really deep water, and I just thought try something different. So I've got all 3 rods basically in this margin, baited up quite heavily. There's a lot of bream in here, so you know, and there is a lot of big fish, so I'm not too concerned about how much bait I put in. I think a couple of kilo should hopefully encourage them to investigate this area. The monster red boilies I was using, that's gone in the lake, they were glugged for 48 hours in the monster red fish oil, so there was loads of attraction coming off. You might be able to see it on the surface of the water, all the oil. So yeah, hopefully that'll work its magic and bring a few carp to this area, but nevertheless I'm going to enjoy it anyway, so we'll see what happens. So the rig that I'm using here is just a simple knotless knot hair rig, just a couple of blobs of putty on just to pin it down the lake bed, and it's just got a piece of silicone on the bend of the hook, just to have the hair trapped in that position so that it should take a decent hook hold. And yeah, and just got a monster red wafter on that, and it's going to go out on all 3 rods just exactly the same. It's micro barbed hooks on here in the rills, so yeah, it's a fairly clean bottom, so should have no problems. £22.5 caught on a Pineapple Hill pop-up at range. Notice it's got a scar on that side to it, so I'm sure it's a known fish. It's got some gut on it. Put up a really good fight as well. Over the moon with this one. And here's this side to it. Lovely hard fighting mirrors from the Approach Fisheries near Leeds. Happy with that. So, I've not been doing much filming this session. What happened was last night I had a very uneventful night, and so did the rest of us on the lake. There's 20 of us in total and no fish came out at all. I didn't see any signs of fish over the area where I was fishing down this left hand margin. And last night I did see one or two out in open water, but it's very deep out in open water. Like I say, it's about 19 feet, 18 feet, in that range, and I just didn't feel comfortable. I just thought that they'd move into the shallow area, but it didn't happen. And I was woke up at about 6 o'clock with torrential rain, which we knew was happening today, but it's still not nice when it's crashing against your bivvy and you can't sleep. And yeah, I'm sure you've experienced it before. But anyway, heavy rain, and it lasted all morning, and yeah, there was nothing happening. But it was such heavy rain, I really didn't want to get out the bivvy, really didn't want to. But I eventually did, motivated myself at about 10 o'clock to get out, put my waterproofs on, and I brought in all 3 rods, and I changed them over, because I just thought the only thing I've got to go on is them couple of fish that I seen last night out in open water. So changed them over, put leadless leader helicopter rig on 2 of them, helicopter lead setup, sorry, with Ronnie rigs, and the 3rd rod is still a lead clip with a Ronnie rig. So my left hand rod is slightly short, but still probably about 35 yards out. That's my shortest rod. The other 2 I put helicopter lead setup on just purely so I could try and cast as far as I can. I've got 23 pound Fox Exocet line on, and at 23 pound it's not the best at casting. So I changed it over to a helicopter lead setup just for the distance. And my thoughts was to just put singles out and just see if I can pick a bite that way, because I know all the other members, or the majority of them, they've all put quite a lot of bait in, and it's clearly not working. So I thought, do the opposite once again, you know, and see if doing something different can get you a bite. So yeah, so I just put the I wanted a bright visual pop-up on, so I've gone with the Pineapple from Baitworks. So bright yellow, and they're very potent. I've still got it on my hands, and I've washed my hands about 5 times. It gives off so much attraction, and that's what I try and do. If I'm only going to fish a single, I'll always try and make it as attractive as possible. So yeah, so I went with all 3 pineapples on them. These 2 are basically just pub chucked to the area where I'd seen the fish last night, and yeah, it got me a fish within about 20 minutes of casting out. So it just shows, you know, you can sit on your hands all day long, but if the fish aren't there, you're wasting your time. So any sign of a fish, put a rig on it. That's my free advice for today. So yeah, I'm really happy. There's only been 1 other fish out, and there's 20 of us on. Everyone's got 3 rods out. You know, 60 rigs in this water, and there's only, you know, my fish was the 2nd one out, and we're about 30 hours into it now. So yeah, it's hard going, but I'm over the moon. I've managed to get one on the bank, and I'm quite optimistic that there could be time for another one yet. But the rain's starting to come down once again, so over and out. Here we go with fish number 2. 21 pound on the nose, and this was the middle rod, just with a single pop-up, just in the area where we've seen fish before. Happy with that. So you join me again in the rain. I've just had to move my bivvy actually, because the ground, it was so wet and soggy where I'd been traipsing in and out of my bivvy. It was just It was awful. Just took a quick video of it there to show you. It was just, yeah, sometimes you've got to help yourself. Try and make yourself as comfortable as possible. So I moved it further away onto the drier, sort of gravelier, if that's even a word, harder ground. So I've got it bivvied right up near my car, so my car's going to provide a bit of a wind shelter tonight. So yeah, just while I'm on that subject, try and make your fishing sessions as comfortable as possible for yourself. You know, I always bring spare clothing and you know, toiletries. You know, I've got mates who don't even bring a toothbrush with them when they go fishing. I just think, you're going for 2 or 3 days, you know, bring it with you. You feel a lot better for keeping fresh, even if it's just a baby wipe wash, you know. So yeah, this weekend's been absolutely fantastic, really enjoyed it. I'll put a link in the description below about this ex-military group that's on Facebook. Yeah, I highly recommend you check it out if you've been in any of the forces. Yeah, just look into it. It's free to join. There is a yearly fee if you wish to fish any of the events, and I think they normally have around 6 or 7 events a year, and they try and spread them around the country, so try and make it fair for the north and the south. So obviously this is one of the north ones, but it's great to see and meet people. You know, I was hesitant on joining the group for a long time, but you know, I thought I've got to make the effort and you know, maybe open up a little bit about my time in the forces. So yeah, it's been really good. Met some really good people. Really enjoyed it. This venue has been quite suited to like a large group. There was 20 of us. So yeah, it's really good. Check it out and just go from there. So with regards to the venue, it is a hard lake to fish. You know, the bailiffs and the owners, they don't try and fluff it. You know, it is a hard lake. So there's some very good anglers on here today. You know, some of these members of the ExMil group are sponsored anglers. They know what they're doing. This is their day job, and even they're struggling. So I'm very fortunate I managed to land them 2. If I get another one during the night, absolutely fantastic. If not, I'm going to go home happy anyway. But it's been good for me as well, because I think I'm trying that a little bit more than usual, just because I've got a camera with me. I think the old me, I'd have probably sat on my hands, I'd have left my rods on the baited area, even though there was nothing showing, and I'd have been quite stubborn, and I'd have probably blanked. But you know, and especially with the heavy rain this morning, the last thing I wanted to do was get out my bivvy. It was absolutely pounding down. And but no, I thought I need to make the effort. So got all my rods in one by one, changed them over, took off the lead clips, put on the helicopter lead set up, and put pop-up rigs on. And yeah, and just that little bit of extra effort, just cast to some showing fish. It's managed to put 2 on the bank for me. So I'm over the moon with that. And I'm quite pleased with myself for not being a lazy angler, which I used to be. And I would never have moved my bivvy either just to get on some firmer ground. So yeah, I'm pleased with myself. Really enjoyed the weekend, like I say. I'm going to get something to eat now and hopefully get some sleep tonight, but I'll be happy for a wake-up call. Fish number 3, £15, 5 o'clock wake up call, and this was on the other rod which hadn't gone at all this weekend, so a fish on all 3 rods, all different areas. Cast far to showing areas where I'd seen them previously. Very hard fighting common, over the moon with this one. And that was the end to that session. So there was 4 fish came out of the lake over the weekend. I was really fortunate to get 3 of those, and it was just a fantastic time at the Approach. I highly recommend it for anyone who's not been before. There is a cafe on site which do fresh food. They do all meals and breakfast, and they can even deliver to the pegs at times. It's just absolutely an amazing place with some really big and exciting carp to go at. So I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.